With both Disney and Marvel already panicking over Ironheart episodes 1 through 3 and the ongoing ratings disaster that it is, we already know that those out there like Dominique Thorne, the main actress of the show who plays Riri Williams, after really going after fans and really going after the critics, it's only making matters worse for both Disney and Marvel. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, one thing about Ironheart is that, yes, we do know that the last 3 episodes will be debuting tonight, by the way, really fulfilling the show for Season 1, and I highly doubt that there's going to be a Season 2, based on the ratings disaster that it is, based on the critics really calling this show out for what it is. But one thing is for certain is that this is a show that nobody asked for. This is also a show that is based on a comic back in 2016 that was cancelled, quite frankly. That's also another fact that people have to realize. But focusing on Disney CEO Bob Iger and Kevin Feige, they are desperately trying to oversell this show to a degree that we have never seen before. So let's get into this. Now, one thing about Bob Iger is that we know that I, along with many others out there, like to call him Bob Liger, because all this guy does is lie to the audience, he lies to the shareholders, he lies to anybody out there, in order to really kind of string them along into the following year in hopes that they will stay around, whether it's shareholders or customers. And we already know that Disney Plus is a failing platform. It is a failing business model for, of course, Disney. You know, we already know that Tony Gilroy admitted to this, the guy who created the Andor series, both Season 1 and Season 2. Disney just doesn't have the amount of money that they have anymore to create all of these shows. However, interestingly enough, with the Ironheart ratings disaster only getting worse for those at Disney and Marvel, already those like Kevin Feige and Bob Iger are heading into damage control mode at a level that we have never seen before. In this case, Bob Iger got very defensive after the LGBTQ backlash, and also in the midst of the ratings beginning to tank already. Now, Iger recently delivered the following in a desperate move to damage control the situation. As CEO, it is 100% my responsibility to remain direct and transparent, and that doesn't just go for our customers, it goes for our shareholders as well. With our latest project, Ironheart, I want to be very truthful to our core customer base that our latest series is a wide success regardless of what you have been hearing in the trades. There is an obvious narrative going around out there that our latest series that is a great projection of our business model to honor LGBTQ is forcing a message onto the people. I am here to say that this is so far from the truth, and that this needs to be said that we here at the Disney company have never engaged in any kind of a culture war or so-called culture war, especially with our Ironheart series. This is a series that focuses on the importance of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and how there are moments in which that should be valued more than the story itself, to honor those that come from different ethnic backgrounds, genders, etc. And we honor those that come from different platforms and diversified series. This is our most diversified series yet. To call that an agenda is coming from a political landscape and from a politically motivated place, something that we here at the Disney company do not respect. It is in our best interest to attract as many customers as possible, and in doing so we stand by our support for diversity, equity, and inclusion. Again, regardless of what you have heard, this is our #1 show right now. Critics have thoroughly enjoyed our 3-episode premiere, and we have some very surprising twists and turns coming your way for the next batch of episodes that will respect the fans. Now guys, let me just say one thing about this. I think the main reason why he's heavily defending DEI has a lot to do with the fact that, you guessed it, BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, they are the top 3 shareholders for the Walt Disney Company, and they are the very ones that actually push for DEI. Now again, what's interesting here, and in case you guys don't want to be spoiled, mute the next 30 seconds again, he says that there's going to be a lot of twists and turns in Ironheart, episodes 4 through 6, alright? And obviously what he's alluding to there is Sacha Baron Cohen playing Mephisto, alright? Mephisto is going to be in Ironheart, and this really does contrast what they did with the Acolyte series, back in June of 2024 that stretched into July as well, is that there is an episode that features Darth Plagueis. They thought that Darth Plagueis would improve the ratings or hook the actual audience into wanting a season 2. However, it backfired and only made things worse. Same exact thing applies here with the Ironheart series. Once, Sacha Baron Cohen comes into play to play Mephisto in a different form. It's not going to be in the form that you expect. It's going to be in a very different form. You guys will see it, trust me. When he actually does get to play Mephisto, they're really hoping that fans are going to want a season 2, and they are going to want a moment where, you have the true Mephisto form, so to speak, right? Now, look, we know at the same exact time that's not going to work. People would have rather Mephisto to appear in other shows or anything like that. If anything, they should have thrown Ghost Rider into a show like this. It would have made a lot more sense, thematically speaking. Now, he goes on to actually continue, with our latest character, Riri Williams, our goal was to go above and beyond Tony Stark, aka Iron Man. Our goal was to do what Tony could never do in the films, and to pass on his legacy to the next generation. To witness the inflammatory comments going around about the success and or failure of our series is something that is very delicate to the core audience base, that just wants to enjoy a good story, so we ask everyone to shift away from the negative waves and politics, and to focus on the characters strictly, and you will find yourself engaged. I have held many conversations with Kevin Feige, and we are both thrilled to, of course, one day bring Riri Williams back into the theaters again. It's something that we hope for, and we see there is a demand there for Riri now that Tony Stark is gone. It's in our best interest as well to evolve the Marvel Cinematic Universe with the usage of supporting LGBTQIA and all of the valued communities that deserve the recognition through the hard work as performers for these new characters. And again, we see that Bob Iger is really doubling down on LGBTQ after so many critics and so many fans are actually pushing against that. They're actually, creating a lot of backlash against that, and for valid reasons, by the way. I mean, when you focus on an agenda, when you focus on a message above a story that so happens to have a message about LGBTQ, people are just very tiresome and exhausted about it. In fact, even members of the LGBTQ community are calling out the nonsense that Ironheart is. And that's when you know you have a real deep problem, especially with a show like this that actually cost them quite a bit of money when it came to the marketing, when it came to the production of the show, and this thing is expected to not even hit the Nielsen ratings even for episodes 4 through 6. Regardless of Mephisto showing up, regardless of Sacha Baron Cohen, which is the only highlight of the show, honestly. It's going to be the only main talking point of Ironheart. Heck, there's even an episode in here where you have a character called Zelma, which is going to be a copy and paste of the character Velma from the HBO Max series. You guys will see that as well. Overall, I think that what's going on here is that basically Disney and Marvel, they are in a situation that they cannot escape from, at least when it comes to Disney Plus projects. As far as movies, we'll have to wait and see how Fantastic Four performs, how Doomsday performs in 2026, and that's going to be the real sign as to where the MCU is heading for the next several years. Overall, I would like to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.